I'd like to welcome everybody to the May meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. And Gloria Bonner has agreed to lead us in the prayer and pledge. Gloria, thank you.
Thank you. May we bow, please? O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. Almighty Father, we humbly bow before you with thanksgiving and praise in our hearts, thanking you for your everlasting love. Father, we praise you for who you are in our lives on a daily basis. We pray that your grace and mercy will reign over our families, our children, grandchildren, as well as our local community leaders throughout this great community of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. Father, we praise you, we honor you, and we worship you in love. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
May we stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we've got a full agenda today, so we'll dive right in. The first item, everybody should have received their packets earlier in the week that contained the minutes from the March 5th meeting. At this time, we'll entertain any discussion, changes, corrections that need to be made. If there are none, a motion for acceptance.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move now to new business. Item number 1, Thomas Laird is with us today, and he's going to give us the athletics activities report, which I'm sure will be full. Welcome, Thomas.
Well, thank you for having me. Good afternoon, members of the commission. Before I begin with the athletics activity report, I want to introduce one of our interns from MTSU. This is Takesha Ivory. She's come from West Tennessee, but she's made a big impact. She is actually umpires and scorekeeps for some of our leagues and has done a wonderful job with her internship. She graduates here in just a little while, and we're excited to have her. And we're proud to say we're bringing on another intern to fill her shoes for the summer. So it's really working out, helping these young people get ready for the profession that they've gone into, and obviously it helps us as well. So, well, we've got a PowerPoint to bring you up to speed as where we're at with athletics. And the athletic division we've really over the last few years really tried to focus on setting goals and develop certain areas to focus on. And our department or our division focuses on 4 different areas: program administration, facility management, league liaisons, and community outreach. The athletic division has 15 full-time employees and almost 40 to 50 part-time employees. Hold on, we got a little technical difficulties. Not sure. Turn it on. The first division is our athletic programs. We run adult leagues. We provide adult leagues for adult softball. We play adult softball on 3 fields in the spring. We've got almost 60 teams. There's Old Fort Park, and 1 field at Starplex and 1 field at Barfield Crescent Park. In the fall, we also have 60 teams. We're really limited as to what we can do. Over the last several years, we've lost 3 adult softball fields, which has had a great impact on our league. We're very confident that we could double the size of our league provided we had the facilities. We offer adult basketball leagues. Adult basketball plays at both Sportscom and Patterson. We average 18 to 24 teams between the seasons. We run 10-week seasons generally and have a single elimination tournament at the end of each season. We try to do 3 to 4 seasons a year, and that's an ongoing program at those. With McFadden coming back online, we hope to increase that to maybe even 30 teams each season. Adult volleyball, we have a recreational and a competitive league. Monday nights is at Patterson Park is a recreational league. On Thursdays is a competitive league, and we average 18 to 24 teams as that as well with each season. All of our adult sports that are inside the facilities, we try not to take a break. That reduces confusion by patrons, whether the gym's open, whether it's not. Not to mention we have enough adults that want to play. All of these leagues have waiting lists from softball to volleyball and basketball. So limited space, we maximize that, and we try to keep it going throughout the year. We have flag football in the fall. Last year we had 8 teams. This is a very popular program that we brought back from many, many years ago. So we're into our 3rd season with flag football, and they seem to really enjoy that. Trying to maximize the space at Patterson Park, we offer a racquetball league. And this is a really good league for folks coming new to the community. We don't necessarily schedule exact time for their matches, but we give them a contact information of someone they can play, and then they call them throughout the week and get connected to play their match. So by the end of the season, several folks are able to have people to play with and meet individuals that actually have similar interests. So the racquetball league is, of course, a competitive league, but it's also a very social league as well. And we average about anywhere from 18 to 30 participants in that for 3 different divisions, and a tournament on each end, 2 seasons a year. Then, of course, our youth programs are another big part of the athletic division. Currently, we're in track and field. The Murfreesboro track and field program lasts for about 6 weeks. We work with Coach Field in Riverdale High School to get these children ready for competitive track and field. They learn eating, good nutrition, how to train, starts, stops, the basic fundamentals of track and field. And then the culmination of the program is the Hershey's Track and Field local meet, where they have the opportunity to advance to the state meet. Also, the athletic division runs the Hershey's program as well as the state program. We have a youth volleyball program. This is really taken off in the last several years. There's a lot of young ladies playing volleyball that are getting involved, and we found a need for that. 3 years ago, we had 1 team. This year, we're looking at expanding to 10 teams. So in a 2 or 3 year period, that's a significant number of teams when you're talking about young middle school age girls. And so that's a summer league of play throughout the summer. We just had evaluations Monday and Tuesday night of this week. Of course, our youth football league, last year we had 310 participants in the league. It runs from ages 5 to 14. Many of you had children in the youth football league. We offer flag for 5 and 6-year-olds, and then ages 7 to 14 play tackle football. We are try to govern our coaches' training and our policies through the USA Football Association, and that covers the head injuries and the concussion things in addition to what we do for the city. So we go a little step extra to ensure the safety of the participants. The participation in this league fluctuates. There's several travel leagues throughout the city, and each year there's new ones that will start, new ones that stop. So when the Blackman League started, we saw a slight decline. Last year we saw an increase in participation because many folks do not want to travel, and those are all travel leagues. We're a recreational league that plays right here in Murfreesboro. We practice at the McKnight athletic fields, and a lot of people enjoy that. Of course, we offer cheerleading with our football program as well. And, of course, we're not trying to compete with the big elite gymnastics or cheerleading and some of these other folks. But we do try to have a good experience for the girls. A lot of them just want to cheer for their sibling or their brothers, and that's what we want to provide a venue for that. But we've added Thursday nights at one of the gyms where they learn tumbling and cheer and dance. So they learn a little bit more, and if they want to go on and compete on a competitive level, they have a good foundation. Last year we had 43 participants in that, and it's continuing to grow as we expand the program. Of course, our biggest program of the year every season is our youth basketball program. This past year we had 1,082 participants. That's the largest this program has ever been. That culminated into 123 teams ages 5 to 15. For this next year, we plan on adding a 15, 16, 17-year-old league so we can bridge the gap from age 15 to 18 when our adult leagues start. So we're looking forward to that. This has been a very successful youth program, and it continues to improve. A lot of our youth programs are, of course, a fee-based program. We try to balance our budget, but all of those programs, from track and field, which is a 51% financial assistant program, meaning 51% of the participants in that program are either free or reduced, all the way down to the youth volleyball, which is probably the lowest number, which is at about 8 or 9%. But on average, our programs run about 20 to 30% financial assistance. That means that's free or reduced. So we're not excluding the entire community, and we're providing for everyone. We also provide summer camps, 3 of the big camps that we do. Of course, our sports camp is our most popular. We do that at SportsCom. It's an all-day camp where we work with the children and program with sports activities in the mornings from 8:30 to 12:30. They go to the pool in the afternoons, but we've got staff on hand to stay with the kids and to monitor and make sure that there's no problems. That camp has sold out this year. 5 sessions at 50 children per session. It's sold out in a month. So if you'd like to attend sports camp, you can call the office to get on a waiting list, but it's sold out. At the end of the summer, we offer cheer camp, which is a great opportunity for young ladies that are wanting to try out for cheerleading for their schools to kind of get in the groove of things and be able to get involved in that. And then we offer the McFadden Summer Camp at the McFadden Community Center. That's a free camp where we offer both breakfast and lunch for any children that want to come. We simply ask the parents fill out a registration card so that we have important information and any waivers or permissions that we may need. And we do activities with the children throughout the day from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Each afternoon and through the day. So those are our youth programs, and then we have a couple of classes that we host. I personally do Toddler Time with Thomas on Fridays. That's at 10 a.m. That's for ages 2 to 5. And it's basically just an opportunity for children to get out, play in the gym, spend some energy while focusing on simple things like waiting their turn, standing in line. We play simple games and sing songs and things like that. If you've never been out to Toddler Time and you got an extra hour on Friday, I encourage you to come out and walk the track and watch. It's a lot of fun. Kids really enjoy it. We have a youth volleyball class at SportsCom every Thursday at 4:30, and actually this is what led into our youth volleyball league. The class itself is 4:30. It's $3 per person, and we take all ages from 7 years old up to 17-year-old girls or boys, and from beginners to advanced. When the high schools are done for the season, you'll see a lot of those girls come to the youth volleyball class. We'll actually split the gym into 2 different courts so that their advanced have an opportunity to hit and the youth. They'll practice and do drills for the first hour, and then the next 30 minutes is usually scrimmage games. So it's been very popular. We found when we started this that there was Murfreesboro citizens were driving to other communities to participate in youth volleyball, and we had the availability and the expertise to offer that right here. So we have volunteer coaches. They're excellent coaches, and they're able to work with them from all levels. And they're connected a lot with the high schools so that the high school coaches are familiar. It's a great chance for girls also wanting to try out for volleyball to come out to SportsCom. It's a drop-in type class, and get ready for the upcoming tryouts or the season, or just come play. This is a new program we started. We're in our 4th week of Start Smart Baseball. We do ages 2, 3, and 4, and this has been extremely successful. Our pilot program had 23 children, and we are extremely excited. It's a non-competitive skills-type program where they learn the basic skills of baseball from throwing, running, catching, and hitting. And at the end of the season, the end of the 7 weeks, we'll have a game for them. It'll be no score. They'll just actually play a regular T-ball game. But we found that It certainly helps the children, but it's a parent participation program which helps those parents learn how to work with their children at home. We give them a manual, equipment so that they can work with them at home, but it also gives us an opportunity to do some early intervention training in terms of keeping sport in perspective for your children. So later on when they become part of our programs or get involved with our facilities, hopefully they have a little better perspective on things and the issues that we typically find in some of our leagues might dissolve. Another big part of what we do in athletics is facility management, of course, and I've listed up there the ladies and gentlemen that make our facilities what they are. One of our goals was world-class facilities, and we've done a lot of renovation, and we're still in the process of renovation. This is the McFadden Community Center. I stuck some shots up there. We've got new restrooms, new office space, new gymnasium. Can you believe that's the old floor there at McFadden? It's a brand new floor. Who knew it could look so well? But if you haven't been by the McFadden Community Center, come by and check it out. There's a lot of improvements there. Barfield Crescent Park has a new look as well. If you look far enough, you can see the new shade structures that we've put in at Barfield Park. One thing that we've really focused on this year is attention to detail. And if you've been in the ballparks this year, they are very, very clean. And I credit that to our maintenance staff. They have worked extra hard at making very clean facilities with all these additions. We also manage Starplex. Once again, Starplex has a new look. There's a new roof there, new canopies. And then we are in process of installing canopies. They're going in, finishing up next week at the McKnight Softball Complex. Also with landscaping, we installed new HVAC units as well. Of course, we manage Old Fort Softball Field and the tennis complex there. We work with high schools and the Murfreesboro Tennis Association in providing for that. Of course, Richard Siegel Soccer Complex is another one of our popular facilities that we manage. I can't see that. That's a list of what tournaments we have on the book thus far this year. Last year we hosted almost 68 tournaments in our park systems. According to the Chamber of Commerce, the parks itself, those tournaments within the parks, was responsible close to $24 million in economic impact. Siegel Park was responsible for almost $8 million alone. And when you talk about money coming into our communities, we'll go through who's actually playing in these facilities on a regular basis in addition to our programs. But these are weekend tournaments. These are things that we're bringing in when they're not being used by the citizens of Murfreesboro. So we're maximizing those dollars. And that's significant when you're talking about building new facilities. We serve as league liaisons. And if you look at the pattern that is in this list of leagues that we sign on with, you notice Murfreesboro Soccer Club, Murfreesboro Baseball Association, Murfreesboro Little League. We've encouraged all of the leagues to go to their website. So if you go to the Google and you Google Murfreesboro Soccer, you bring up the Murfreesboro Soccer Club. If you Google Murfreesboro Little League, you bring up the Optimist Little League. So we're trying to work with easy access. So you name Murfreesboro and the sport that you're interested in, and we're working towards these programs coming up first on your search. Of course, we work with the Softball Association there at Stones River, Tennis Association, Lacrosse, and the Middle Tennessee Disc Golf Association. They work with us to handle tournaments and leagues out at Barfield Crescent Park. There's our logos. The final thing that we try to focus on in athletics is community outreach. We do several programs through the year, special events. It's more than just doing a special event. It's an opportunity for people to come out and meet the athletic staff, feel comfortable with our athletic staff when their children are participating in our programs, and allow us to interact with the general public and let them know that we're there for their best interest. So we help host the Easter egg hunt at Siegel Park. We are responsible for the 22,000 eggs, I guess, that were thrown out, and we have worked with the Recreation Division really well to make that a very successful event each year. We have the McFadden Fall Festival, and if you've never been to this, please try to come. We do a haunted hallway. We have, instead of a cake walk, we do a T-shirt walk, so we give away all the old T-shirts we've had through the years. But the kids really love that. We try to create that old-timey gymnasium-type carnival atmosphere there. We do the haunted hayride at the Barfield Halloween Bash. And now we work with a lot of different organizations to put this on, but it was very successful last year with almost 1,100 people going through the attraction, and it's very economical. It's $5. If you haven't been through it and you're a little squeamish, I don't advise it. But if you like something scary at a good price, it is a quality hayride. And then we have this coming Friday night. I want to invite everyone to come out. This is the Barfield Beach Party. We're in the process of getting ready to top dress all of our athletic fields to get ready for the spring, early summer. So we've got 4 truckloads of sand that we're going to bring in. We're going to put it in the parking lot, have a beach party Friday night, and Monday morning they're going to load it up, take it to all the athletic fields and top dress them. But that much sand, you got to have some fun with it before you work with it, right? And then, of course, we help manage and host Spring Fling. And most of you, if you're not aware, I know they might have put a Spring Fling schedule in your packet. We host the soccer at Siegel Park, girls softball at Starplex, and tennis at Old Fort Park. If you've never been out to Spring Fling, it really is the culmination of everything that the athletic field crews and these guys work for every year. And you know, the best thing about Spring Fling is that's where the state championships are being played for high school. So those many tournaments that we acquire through the year is a direct result of Spring Fling. Everybody wants to host their tournament where the state championships were played. And so we're always proud to host Spring Fling. If you want to come out as a volunteer, they have really nice T-shirts, and we've always got something for you to do. You can always catch us at several different areas. MurfreesboroTN.gov/athletics is the website. We are on Facebook, Murfreesboro Athletics. If you've never checked out our Facebook page, we have a photographer that works with us. We put out anywhere from 100 to 200 action photos from our athletic events throughout the week. So once a week, or several times a week, we will publish a new album, Action Photos. I think this week we had some women's softball, some volleyball. But during the youth programs, that is a major plus for these people to be able to go and pull up action photos of their children at no cost to them. We're also at Murph Athletics on Twitter. And you can email us at athletics@murfreesborotn.gov or give us a call over at the office at 615-907-2251. One final thing that I wanted to do is I know there is some serious concern about some of the turf throughout our park system. We had an extreme winter, probably the worst winter we've had in many, many years. So we do have some winter kill with our Bermuda grass. I want to assure the Commission and assure the public that we're very much aware of that. We've been doing evaluations on a weekly basis to see where we're at bringing it back. We've scheduled June 15th to be the deadline that we will come in and re-sprig those areas. By re-sprigging them and irrigating them, we'll shut them down for a 2-month period, and we feel very confident that we'll be able to bring those areas back. We know at some locations the drainage has been a problem, and in the process of re-sprigging and our renovation, we're addressing that as well. We have a consultant out of Memphis that used to be the head groundskeeper for the FedEx golf course there, and is very familiar, went to UT and got his master's on Bermuda grass. So he's working really close with us to try to help bring this back and solve the problem. So if you notice that the grass is brown in areas at some of our athletic facilities, we're aware of that, and at this time there's not a lot we can do about it, but we certainly plan to have them back once the warm weather comes and we're able to address it. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thanks, Thomas. Any questions for Thomas? Thanks for being here, bud.
Thank you.
Bart, you're up. Bart Fight's here, and he's going to give us the sports comm activities report.
Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission, I'm before you today. I just want to give you an update of some activities that we've been having at SportsCom and also some future activities that are going to be starting here in the near future. Some of the activities I know I'll touch on as Thomas had. We have the adult basketball, of course, the adult volleyball and the youth volleyball, and I know the new program, the baseball program, started on Saturday morning. We also have the Kiwanis girls softball, which has started this week. Of course, our baseball is going on. If you go by there any day during the week after 5 o'clock, 5:30, it's hard to find a parking spot out there. It's crowded. The leagues do a great job of running their leagues for us, and also all the activities that are going on. I would like to say that we work closely with Thomas and his staff on the scheduling part of it, as he sends out Elaine Mitchell, who is very good in the volleyball program and also the adult basketball, is handling all the officials, the scorekeepers, and everything such as that. So we touch base with our athletic division quite often because there's so much going on. We want to make sure that all our programs run smoothly and don't have any glitches in them. This Saturday, we are starting really our special programs in May, and it goes all the way through August. So I'll touch base on a few of them that are coming up. This Saturday, we're having what we call Drown-Proof Murfreesboro. And this program is it's a 30-minute program for any youth age 4 through 14 and wants to take a free swimming lessons. They can call SportsCom at 895-5040 to sign up. And what it is, it's a free 30-minute swim lessons of our instructors that will hopefully get the kids used to the water, their fear of the water will diminish, and also give them some lifelong activities in the water throughout this year and the years to come. One statistic that I pulled up out of the Center for Disease Control mentioned that children who participate in a formal swim lesson are 88% less likely to become drowning victims. So that was quite a statistic that I thought that kind of startled me, that 88% of people that take swimming lessons are less likely to become in a drowning incident. So that's very important. Like I said, hopefully we'll have a big crowd show up. Like I said, you can register at SportsCom by calling out there any day this week. It is free, of course. Next thing we have coming up, we have two big events coming up on May the 17th. These are going to be two huge events for us. One is the Kids Fest, which is this year has partnered with the Duck Derby. So we're going to do our best to have these two events the same day. Kids Fest will be held in our gymnasium from 11 to 4. What we'll have is local vendor booths. We'll have prize giveaways. We'll have inflatables. We have live stage performances, free face painting, and all other activities for kids. And any information for kids this summer and anything going on in the city, we'll have tables set up and booths, and we expect a big crowd there. At 1 o'clock, we're going to have the Duck Derby, which this year they have increased the ducks from 5,000 to 12,000. And they will be taking their journey down the Burrow Beach slides to try to find a winner. And you might ask, how are you going to send 12,000 ducks down the slide? Well, what they do them in heats. So a lot of the people with the Child Advocacy Center will go out there and they corral them in heats, pick the winners out, set them aside. We run, I don't know how many heats they'll run this time to get down to the final heat, but then they'll send those ducks down at the very last race of the day to declare a champion. Also, we'll have inflatables out there. We'll have all kind of booths set up. And also, you can adopt your duck today at burrowduckderby.com. So it is a fundraiser for the Child Advocacy Center. We're very glad to cooperate with them. And also the Kids Fest, sponsored by the Rutherford Parent Magazine. Most of our staff for over a month or so have been working on one of our city's biggest events, as Thomas mentioned, the Spring Fling. It takes a lot of work between our staff, the Chamber of Commerce, and the TSSAA to make this event one of the best in the nation. This year, SportsCom is proud to be known as the headquarters for the Spring Fling. We were the headquarters last year, and we'll be there available to help any kind of problems that arise, any kind of way we can help the Chamber or the TSSAA if anything comes up. I can give you an example. Last year, there was kind of a semi-panic in the TSSAA war room, we call it, but a team had showed up at Lebanon to play their baseball game, and they hadn't got their packet. And they weren't allowed to play until they received their official packet, which they were supposed to pick up, and I really don't know what happened. But they found me, sent me over to Lebanon with this packet so they could play. But I can tell you and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, it's a huge undertaking for our department, the Chamber, and and all our volunteers are very much appreciated. We couldn't do it without them. So The Spring Fling, like I said, is one of our biggest events of the year. We're very proud to be the headquarters this year. As soon as the Spring Fling is over, which runs, it will run the May 19th through the 23rd. On May the 24th, we'll open Burrow Beach at 10 o'clock. We're currently in the process of now getting all our lifeguards, our concession staff, our pool attendants, and all our employees hired. And we will celebrate the opening day there on the 24th, and also Memorial Day, where we'll have what we call Memorial Madness, where we'll have all activities for the kids that day, from games, face painting, any kind of events we can have for the children, we'll have that day in the pool. Also, I can tell you the renovation of the outdoor pool, which is now known as Burrow Beach, has been a great success. And with your help and approval, I can tell you, I checked before I came here today, on our reservations, we have private parties on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. And a couple of years ago, we did add Friday nights because it was so popular. But from the end of May through June, July, and August, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night is already taken. So it has been a huge success. We have people waiting in line to get have those private parties there at Sportscom. So it has been a great success for people not only in this city, but in the whole county and even surrounding areas. We also will be hosting numerous camps this summer, from the very popular sports camp, as Thomas said. We have 2 RAD camps that are hosted by the Murfreesboro Police Department. And we'll have those in June and also one in July, and the police department comes out and works with us on those. In July, we will also have what we call the annual July 4th celebration under the stars. I know last year we had bad weather. Hopefully this year everything will clear up, and we'll have, of course, we'll have the Burrow Beach open for all activities during the day. Then at 5 o'clock we'll head out for games and activities, and also the concert band, and also our fireworks show, which should go on around 9 o'clock. On Tuesday, August the 5th, we will once again host our National Night Out. This is a very popular program throughout the city that we host at our various parks that help promote a night out against crime. And that's where we bring everybody in the community. Hopefully everybody will come out for a free swim or a free hot dog and come out and learn how to fight crime. 2 other big events that will take place in August, once again, will be our TVA Super Challenge. This is where we have 7 states that send their employees to McKnight Park and Sportscom, where they compete in softball, volleyball, basketball, and even horseshoes. This has been a very popular event. It's over 500 to 1,000 employees and their families come out and enjoy the pool, enjoy the grounds of McKnight Park, and also have friendly competition. Also, at the end of August, we will wind up on August 23rd with a Triborough Kids Triathlon. And I know Nate is very involved in this. It's a series of youth triathlons, but last year we had over 350 participants, as they will take place at McKnight Park and Sportscom. As you can see, we are expecting a big summer at Sportscom. We're already starting getting busy, and we're planning on having a big summer for everybody involved. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them. That's a kind of a short summary of what we're doing. We do have a lot of other things going on, but that's just summarizing it.
Anybody have any questions for Bart?
Just a comment. I want to thank you for your work with the Child Advocacy Center. I think this is the 2nd year we will be there, and the board is very excited about that, and I think it's going to be a great day. So thank you for your work with the center, and thank you, Lanny, for your support of that.
You're very welcome. It's a great organization, a great fundraiser for their charity.
Any other questions or comments? Bart, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Ralph, you're up. Ralph Buckingham is going to give us an update on the Youth Development Program. Ralph, welcome.
First, I want to give honor to God, the head of my life. I want to thank thank Mr. Landon for hiring me, been here since November. I thank Nate Washington, my supervisor, for giving me great support to do it. I think we're doing a fantastic job. We're going to talk a little bit about Patterson Summer Program. Program starts. We've developed this program to develop a sense of purpose, mold positive values, and build skills to need to be successful in life. A lot of our kids are free and reduced lunch kids. We've really been focused on the after-school program, really trying to build relationships with the parents and because we believe that it takes a village to raise a child. And so we're really trying to focus on expose those young folks to everything. So Mr. Atlanta has allowed us to use all the different venues here in Murfreesboro, and we're trying to do that as we go forth. And I think since November, we're making great strides and touching a lot of lives. To be able to come into Patterson, you got to be at least 8 years of age. So we're focused on 8 years of age to 8th grade, kind of focus on those kids. A lot of Bradley kids, Hobgood, Mitchell Nelson, and I understand that we're going to get about 50 more kids in our school program because of the zoning change. So we're trying to prepare for that, but that's a good thing. Our after-school program goes from Monday through Friday. Kids get there around about 3:30 and goes about 6. We also started a teen program. Got a young lady working with the teens. We got a teen room. We're trying to get different activities for those teens. But everything for our summer program is getting wound up, ready to go, which we're looking to start May the 27th and go all the way to July the 30th. Just found out last night that city schools are getting out a little early on the 21st, so that kind of threw a little ball, threw a different ball at us. So we're going to try to get paired a little earlier. So we're going to get the kids coming about the 21st. So we're going to make that adjustment. Want to just expound on first shot basketball. We just had our first shot basketball camp. Mr. Andy Herzer, first shot. Mr. Andy Herzer says about the best camp he ever had. We had over 139 kids to participate in that camp. Mr. Herzer has done a great job over the years. I worked part-time for Park and Rec for many years and got to know him personally, and really he's doing a great job with us, partnering with us, bring in like dance, we're talking back and forth. He does writing skills, just talk about just different skills we need to be successful in life, because we're building leaders here, okay? He's planning on doing a camp, a 2 weeks camp this summer. It's going to start June the 16th, go to the 19th, then 23rd to the 26th. He do Monday through Thursday. That camp is supposed to go from 12 to 4 o'clock. Our site, Patterson, is a feeding site for Murfreesboro City School, and we're going to feed breakfast every morning, probably between 10 and 11. Do lunch between 12 and 1. So as long as kids that's under 18 can come and eat breakfast and lunch, that's a positive thing that we're trying to do. We've got a lot of stuff going on. This summer, we're also starting a Growing Healthy Habits program. I got a lady from the health department that's going to come in and teach healthy habits. We got the maintenance department. Everybody's working real well with us since we started. Got a guy came and built us some planters, and we got some vegetables growing. Got some cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes and all kind of stuff. And what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to make us a pizza out of all the ingredients. But we're going to try to child this in. Like I said, a lot of our kids are free and reduced lunch kids, and we're trying to teach them, that you can eat healthy, So we're just trying to, bring things to the table to be able to, like I said, things we feel like that they need. And pulling off what we grew up, things that our mom and dad taught us. And so I'm from the country, so I love the dirt, and they teach them about how to grow vegetables and eat healthy. So I think it's real positive. We got a lot of different activities that we do during the school year, in the summer too. We started this program called Barfield Park Adventures. We're taking a group of kids out to Barfield Park, and we doing hiking. We do go look at the animals. We do frisbee golf. So we're trying to get them more exposed to the outside. We're also going to do a camping trip sometime this summer with those kids. I'm fortunate to have Coach Pierre Lyons. He played professional baseball, and so what we were trying to do with that, he's starting a little class. He's teaching basic baseball skills there, and then fast pitch softball for the girls. That's going well with that. This other program that we have is called the WARE program. It's called Athletes Working to Achieve Realistic Education. Now, that's a national program that's been around for a long time. Coach Ricky Fields from Riverdale and Janelle has been working with this program, and we've been following. We got 15 students that's going to graduate this month. Ever since they came to Patterson from Bradley and Hobgood, they've been tracking and working with these kids. And I'm proud to say those 15 kids are all graduating, and they all are going to college. So that's something I think something we need to brag about. And so what we're trying to do with that AWARE program, I know those kids, a lot of those kids are playing sports. We're going to try to gear up a program that covers all the kids, artists, lawyers, doctors. So we want to make sure that all those kids, we want to set up a program that's make sure they're all going to be successful in life. So we're going to try to, that program is real important. I think that it's something to brag about. Like I said, those 15 guys that they tracked and worked with, all 15 of them are going to graduate and go off to college. They already found a college. They already been accepted into college. So that's 100%. Okay. So what they usually do, like when they start in the 9th grade, they started working with them, trying to prepare them for the ACT, SATs, and to get them to ready to go and to be successful in life. And that's a few things that we're doing. And like I said, I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to speak before you, and y'all pray for us. Okay? Thank you. Got any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions for Al?
Mr. Buckingham, with your AWARE program, I would like to suggest, if possible, that we could arrange a tour of the MTSU campus as they are exploring their options. And if possible, Dr. Goodwin, if we could arrange to have a tour so that the students could become more aware of the multiple majors that we offer on the campus. So I would like to get with someone for that possibility.
You do that.
Okay, good.
And one last thing, those same young folks, we're going to have a banquet for them May the 15th at 6 o'clock at Patterson at the dining hall, and we want to invite all of y'all to come out and eat with us. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Thanks for being here.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, just to say Ralph and his team is doing a really great job. If you go over and watch them work with the kids, they've got 100% respect from every child that's in that center and that comes to that center. And there's a lot of them that now are migrating into that program because of word of mouth that's going around the community. And it's really fascinating to watch how much character, leadership, just see them maturing as an individual. And what Ralph talked about is, and they are really looking at how they're treating that whole child and what they're looking at and how they can develop them all the way to the time that they are becoming independent and looking at their future as a community citizen and as possibly a leader in our community. So I think it's a wonderful program that they're.
Well, you all are definitely to be commended for that. Is there a possibility that we could promote that program through our local media, either Lifestyle or some other venue?
Sure.
Because it
Sure.
really is
And-
exceptional.
And what we've done with the youth development program, and I know that this is kind of in its beginning stages, we've had pieces that we've done throughout the years, but we haven't pulled it together like we have since we put it all under one roof for youth development. And now we can focus on all of those different aspects and give them much more exposure and track better their successes.
Impressive.
Thanks.
Okay.
Allison?
All right.
You're up. Allison's going to give us an update on the fitness and wellness.
Recently, the Robert Wood Foundation came out with their yearly report, 2013 yearly report on the health of the nation, and they break it up in counties. Happy to say Rutherford County is second in Tennessee among all the 95 counties. We're number 2 in overall health. So we scored very well for that, and I think we should be happy for that. I won't dwell on the fact that Tennessee is 42nd in the nation, but statewide we're doing very well. However, about 31% of Rutherford County residents are still obese. 27% on this report listed themselves as inactive. and 65% said that they just don't go and exercise. So Chad and I, it's our job and our role is to help offer these opportunities for people to have access to exercise and, well, I guess I should be playing this, right? For them to have access to exercise and to opportunities to be active and fit. And we follow along with National Recreation and Park Association. They pretty much have a stance that says Parks and Recreation should lead in the health and wellness of the community. Eat Well, Play More Tennessee is started in Tennessee. It's a government agency, and they say that Parks and Recreation should take an active role in the health and wellness of the community, as does the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So Chad and I try very hard to create these opportunities for everyone in the community. In 2013, in our wellness center, which includes our weight room and our track, Patterson had 42,777 participants, and SportsCom had 47,309 participants. In our group exercise, each of us run Chad runs 22 classes per week, I run 27, and that doesn't count the extra stuff that we throw in and when we have a special class that we want to do. But if you look at that, so it's over 1,000 classes per facility that we offer a year. Chad has over 17,000 participants who came to those classes last year, and I had about 13,000. So we are hitting a good population there, and we are getting some good participation, but those numbers are never enough for us. So we want to increase those. But part of that is we try to offer activities for all ages. And so we offer toddler activities. There's been research that says if you get a child up to 5 and whatever you teach them health-wise, they will take that into their adulthood. So we have lots of toddler programs. Here's Patterson's Busy Bees. They meet twice a week. We have special programs at SportsCom. This is a picture of our princess training. That's the girl in the princess outfit. Our superhero training and our firefighter training. These are special classes that we have just to kind of show children that things that they dream about becoming, you have to be fit and active and healthy to do those. So we do a lot of activities to simulate what a superhero would do, what a princess would do. It's really just a time to get them active and get them running around and having fun. Patterson has a dance class that apparently has a waiting list that could possibly turn into 4 classes if we had the staff. So that's a very popular class for that age group. We have tumbleweeds at SportsCom. We go over basic major motion, that's a movie, major motor skills, and it's a lot of pre-tumbling classes. We also have tiny trainers, which we're just starting, so that's going to be 3 and under. And then we have nutrition classes that we have periodically. We try to have adolescent classes because not everybody falls into those athletic sports. So we have, Patterson runs the homeschool program at Patterson. They also have a homeschool dance program, and during the summer they have a sports performance camp. We have at SportsCom Summer Youth Boot Camp, and Young Hearts is kind of that age group that falls through the cracks, that 8 to teenage years, so we have an exercise class for them. This summer we're also doing a babysitters club where we're going to be taking some children, certifying them in CPR and AED and first aid, running them through a babysitting class just so they have those skills. Empower is a girls beginning running program that we're also doing this summer. It's for, again, that age group, that 8 to 11. We're going to bring the girls in, but our idea is that they don't run normally, and by the end of the class, they'll be running a mile. We have family programs also Buddy training and buddy yoga, that's just classes that we do, parent-child. Summer Family 6-week challenge, we'll be doing that again. That's based on the presidential challenge. And again, the tiny trainers, that's going to be a kind of like a mommy, daddy, and me kind of class. We also have classes for the senior population. Chad and I both have a class that's specifically for seniors, Retrofit at Sportscom and Forever Fit at Patterson. Those run about 3 days a week. We also have Tai Chi at Sportscom that isn't particularly set aside for seniors, but that is kind of the population that does it. We also are responsible for sending an instructor over to St. Clair Street Senior Center, and they do exercise. She does exercise classes there twice a week. We also do special activities with the Senior Center. Moving Day, which Chad and I were just there right before this meeting, and we came from there. And then Day in the Park, and that's just where they bring us in and we do some fitness and education with the seniors. We have water aerobics for the seniors as well as the other populations. We have Breakfast with Bob, which is a kind of a social event. People have to work out, and their reward is Breakfast with Bob, and it's way more popular than it would sound, but they really like eating with Bob. We also have, we don't host Senior Olympics, but we are kind of a place where a lot of our seniors train for the Olympics, and Bob has actually taken a very large part in that, and so he kind of just invites people to join him. So it started out with Bob participating in the Senior Olympics, and it grew. You see there's several men up there, and they have, those are medals, bunches and bunches of medals, so all of them kind of did us proud if they were representing us, but they're a good group of guys. General programming, harder to get pictures because adults will attack you if you approach them with a camera. That's why some of these are from behind. We snuck in and took some pictures. General programming is just for regular adults. We have weightlifting classes, boot camp, step, yoga, circuit, and Chad and I both run classes of those. Both facilities have Zumba. That picture there is our Glow Zumba. They cover up all the lights and they bring in some black lights, and those are really fun occasions when they do that. Kickboxing, core, Pilates, group training. Again, these are both facilities run some of these classes. Sportscom has our Tread running program. It's a year-long running program. It starts about now with a beginning running program. Jennifer takes them to where they pretty much don't run at all with the goal of running in the Murfreesboro Half Marathon. So she does training with them 3 days a week, and then they meet on weekends on the Greenway to do longer runs. We also are dipping our toe into triathlon training. Last year we had the unofficial triathlon where we ran them through a sprint triathlon, and it was just we had our phones out timing them, but that went over really well. People are really getting into triathlons, and so they enjoyed using us as kind of a training and just a way to kind of work their ways into some triathlons. We actually are starting a triathlon training program in June. We have some trainers that we just hired, and so they're going to be teaching the people stroke improvements, running and biking. We had the coffee marathon this winter, which was extremely popular. We had about 216 participants who walked multiple routes around Murfreesboro to equal up a marathon to 26.2 miles. We have our Runs with Scissors 5K. We are working on that actually with the Murfreesboro City Schools this year, hoping to get that started in, I believe, August or September. And then we have the Arctic Fun Run that we just did this year along with the Polar Bear Plunge. We also oversee the Fit for Success, which is the city's fitness program. We not only have members with the city employees, but we have also brought in the Murfreesboro City Schools as well as the line ball library system. So we bring them into the facilities, and we're available for them if they need us, but pretty much right now it's just everyone working on their own, and we do have plans to expand those programs. We do special programs throughout the community. We have health fairs. We host health fairs. We travel to host health fairs. Weight room orientations. Each facility is open about 90 hours a week. We're open 7 days a week, and we have staff there all those 90 hours who are available to help anyone who comes into the wellness area, the weight rooms, if they need help using any of the equipment. We have our staff there who's there to help them and guide them. We do fitness assessments. We have personal training. We do occasional blood pressure weeks. We do nutrition trainings, and we have several weight loss programs that we do. This summer we're offering a community CPR training through ASHE, which is the HOPE training. We work with a bunch of community individuals, the Rutherford County Wellness Council. We do things with the fire department. Our firefighter training this past weekend, the fire department actually brought us some helmets and hoses and some equipment for the kids to get to play with to see just how heavy some of the equipment is that they would have to use for the firefighters would have to use. We work with Sports for All, the Arthritis Foundation. I'm not going to name all of them, but these are just some of the people that come to us and use our facilities and work with us for their people and for the community. Do you have any questions about anything?
Do you have any questions, Brown?
No?
Thanks for being here.
Mr. Chair, before we go to the next one, I know that we've been working with Johnson and Bailey on the renovation of sports comp. And I think you can see the amount of activities that we have, both in athletics and in wellness and other things that we have. And one of the things that we've identified is the fact that we don't have enough programmable space at sports comp. So we're looking at, and that was part of what we were planning on doing, is doing some addition to sports com. I guess the $64 question is, which way do we expand? How do we rearrange certain things so that we can maximize the use of the facility? And I know Mr. Byte is here. I'm going to ask him to come up and just, if he could, and I know we're going a little long, but I'd like for him to just talk just a little bit about some of the challenges. I know that we just finished early voting, and we're an early voting precinct, so that takes all of our meeting space, and Bart can tell you how much of that is out and some of the other challenges that we're having. But that's what we're trying to do with the renovation of Sportscom. We're looking at possibly relocating the weight room to a new area, developing some more programming rooms, having it where we can accommodate more of these programs that we have, because it does limit us. And Bart, if you just want to add to that.
Just a few things about Sportscom at the moment. I know when it was built in 1987, we have a aerobic room now that we do use for some of our programs. Just an example, we had our Zumba, which has gotten so big, we have had to move them into our meeting room, which is really a meeting room space. But, of course, when we've had the early voting, which just got through about a month of that, and I know, and that's just one example. We have to juggle a lot of things. But like in July, they'll come back for another 2 to 3 weeks, and then I know in late October some of they'll come back. But we've had to juggle a lot of things. We had to put Zumba in the gym, and you know, a lot of the women don't like to be in there, of course, with the track and everybody, you know, going around. And I can understand that. We've got kind of a space problem. We feel like we could, if we just had either an exercise room off to itself or another meeting room to rearrange some things, we could offer a lot more programs where we wouldn't have these distractions come up every now and then. So we do juggle a lot with what we've got. We appreciate what we've got. But, of course, we would like to see if we just had either like an exercise room where we could do programs or exercise, or I know we talked about dividing off the weight room upstairs. But we do need a little more space, I feel like, where we could offer some more programs and serve the community better.
Okay. Thanks, Bart.
And Bart, by the way, I wanted to mention the fact that somebody reached out to me about a week and a half ago and said for me to be sure and compliment you on the approach and the way you serviced the Rutherford County Election Commission while the campaigns and the elections were going on. They pointed you out in particular and said what a phenomenal job you did of helping support them and keep them prepared for each day and having facility ready and everything. So thank you from the Rutherford County Election Commission.
Well, they're a good group to work with, and I promise you I didn't put out all those signs.
Thanks, Bart. As Lanny mentioned, we are running a little long, so I'm going to ask let's keep it brief and cover the highlights. Lanny and Becky are going to go over the annual report. I believe everybody's got a copy in front of them.
Mr. Chair, I'll just keep my comments brief. The annual report is in front of you. We put in here really kind of a highlight. I think if we put everything in the annual report that happened, Parks and Recreation, I'd have to give it to you in volumes. So we kind of hit the highlights. But one of the things that the management team and I've been talking about is some of the statistics that show up in here that you see, and some of the statistics that we have that you don't see that I think the commission needs to be aware of. And we're trying to gather those this year, and I just want to share one with you before Becky starts. And this kind of gives you an idea of need and some of the things that we can work on as a commission. Last month, my office at Barfield took 287 pavilion, they took 157 calls last week for pavilions. Out of that, they booked 35 because all the pavilions were booked. The month before, they had booked 287 pavilion rentals.
Wow.
So if you look at, and they're still calling, we got 70 calls on Monday for pavilion rentals. And our pavilions are just booked. And if you're there January the 2nd, when we start taking reservations, and I'm just picking out one area, if you're there January the 2nd, the phone starts ringing as soon as you get the door. It never stops until that we walk out the door. And it continues that week because everybody's trying to get that date for their family reunion or special event or whatever they're doing. So that's a very popular venue. Now, in the report, what you'll see is how many shelter rentals and so forth that we did. The thing we didn't tell you is how many calls that we got and how many rentals that we couldn't accommodate. So we're going to try to get you some information like that as well and share it with you, and hopefully that'll guide us in our planning in the future. And with that, I'll just turn over to Becky to talk about the report.
All right. Well, I will keep this short. You all have a copy of the annual report in front of you. And for anybody who wishes to see the annual report themselves, early next week it'll be available on our website. And the kinds of things that we include in our annual report, we have a message from Lanny, a few pages that go over the overview of our department. We have a section about the 21 awards that we received this year that tells you a little bit about each and every one of those awards. Then we have a section that goes in about our parks and lets you know how many pavilion rentals we had, how many athletic fields rented them, the type of use that these parks and pavilions get throughout the year. It's quite impressive. We talked about Oakland's parks and some of the renovations that went on there this past year at Oakland's. We have the statistics on Patterson Park, Richard Siegel Park, and we just listed some of the larger tournaments that they had out at Richard Siegel Park this past year, such as the Bash and the Borough Girls soccer tournament, the Tennessee Cup, Spring Fling, the Boys Bash in the Borough. There's quite a few tournaments that Thomas mentioned that go on out there, and that's just Siegel Park. We talk about the Murfreesboro Greenway system and the trailheads and the parks that we have reservations. there. There's a section in here where we do our survey. Each year we try to do a survey just to get customer feedback, to get an idea of how we are doing as a department, what do they think of our facilities, the appearance of our facilities, the types of programs, what they might like to see. So this helps us plan each year based on feedback that we receive, partly through the surveys and just from talking to people who come and use our parks and facilities. There's a section in here on our use agreements. We partnered this year with 145 different agencies to provide programming and opportunities that go beyond what the in-house staff offer. And that's 145 groups, but several of those groups come in and do several things throughout the year, so it kind of exponentiates from there. We have a little bit that we did with the Triborough kids that we partner with. They do a really good race series for us throughout the year, and also First Shot, where Coach Andy Hertzer comes and does that, and we talked about that a little bit. We have a section in here about our rental information and our park rentals, and as Lanny hinted on, when we were looking at all our pavilion rentals, I'm like, oh, these numbers almost to the penny were the same as last year. Well, that's because they were fully booked last year and fully booked this year, so it really doesn't change much when you are at full capacity. We talked about our field revenues, spring fling, financial assistance. This has gone up steadily each year. In 2013, we were able to provide what equates to $455,782 worth of financial assistance. And that provides opportunities for youth and adults who aren't able to afford our programs that have a fee, and it's based on the school free or reduced program. So they either pay half price or they get a full package of financial aid, and that's what we've offered. And they've been able to participate in our basketball programs and our facilities, and it just enables everybody to have the opportunity to take part in the parks and recreation programs. We have a section in here on our budget, and then we have several pages on our program information. And I'll just give you a few of those highlights. We had 289 in-house staff facilitated programs last year, with a total of over 338,000 participants. And we arrive at that number depending on how the program operates. Some of them are considered weekly, so each time a yoga class is offered, we count the participants that show up at that particular yoga class. So they might come 3 times a week, but we counted each yoga class. Some of our programs are seasonal, or we have leagues that are offered, so we counted by participant for them. Special events, we try to do the best we can to gauge how large the crowd is at some of our events. Some are a little bit easier than others. I think one of our larger events is Uncle Dave Macon Days, with 27,500 people in attendance. So some are a little bit harder than others to gauge. But our staff has done a great job each year of tracking how many people show up at our programs and events, so that we're able to give you a snapshot of what the attendance looks like. Also in the annual report, we have a little bit about the indoor tennis courts groundbreaking, our volunteer program at the Wilderness Station, and that's just one area where we have volunteers. We have so many volunteers in all of our different divisions that make our programming happen, that without them we just wouldn't be able to offer quite as much as we do. And we also had a write-up about our Roland's tractor shed, which we offered this year. So several of those highlights can be found within this annual report. I encourage people next week to download it from the website and kind of look through it and get an idea of what Parks and Recreation has been up to this past year. Any questions?
Well, as always, you guys did a great job with the report.
Thank you.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Becky regarding the annual report? While you're up, you want to go ahead and cover your upcoming events? Did I catch you off guard? You ready?
I thought about bringing this with me when I came up too.
Becky, we'll just move her on the agenda and let her cover the upcoming events.
Okay, and I have a slideshow that goes with this where I put our flyers up for some of our upcoming programs. Hopefully it'll catch up with me. There we go. We have this Friday, Thomas mentioned earlier, Barfield Beach Party, which is this Friday, May 9th at 5 o'clock at Barfield Crescent Park. It's fun for all. My children never, ever want to miss this. We have free swim lessons the next day, Saturday, May 10th, from 8 to noon out at Sportscom for ages 5 to 13, and that is free. There'll be all kinds of programs and activities offered beyond just the free swim lesson. Also this Saturday, May 10th, we have a stone's throw away, where we ask people to volunteer and come on out and help us clean up the greenway. It's very hard to keep up with that greenway, and especially in the springtime after it's rained and the river's flooded its banks a little bit, that kind of washes some debris down. So we try to offer this every spring. Can go to Old Fort Park 3 to join us from 9 to noon this Saturday. Then on Friday, May 23rd, we have World Turtle Day, where you can learn all about turtles. They'll have activities, crafts, live animals, the world's slowest hike, and more from 2 to 5 at the Wilderness Station on May 23rd. Bart mentioned this earlier. We have opening day of Burrow Beach, which is Saturday, May 24th from 10 to 4:30. And then we will also celebrate Memorial Day with Memorial Day Madness on Monday, May 26th, also from 10 to 4:30. And that is a premium admission price. It's $4 for adults, $3 for youth and seniors. And it's always a great time out there at Burrow Beach, which is the outdoor pool at Sportscom. We have summer camp registrations going on now. About half of them are full or almost full. The adventure camps and sports camp are full, but we do have space in creative arts, heritage, dance camp, cheer camp, guard start, and nature camp, and the Ultimate Babysitters Club. A few of them only have 1 or 2 spots left, so if you are interested in those camps, please try to sign up as soon as possible. And you can register for them at the main office, Sportscom, or Patterson Park. And a big hit throughout our summer is our Movies Under the Stars, and that starts the week of June 2nd. Each week they play a movie for the week, but they have a different location. Mondays is at Cason Lane Trailhead, Tuesdays is at Cannonsburg Village, Thursdays is Richard Siegel Neighborhood Park, Friday is Mitchell Nielsen Primary, and Saturday is Hobgood Elementary. And the movie begins at 8:30 p.m., and that starts June 2nd. And as always, for all of our other programs or more information, we're at murfreesboro.tn.gov/parks for our website. Our Rec Connection can be downloaded from there, and we are also on Facebook. Any questions?
Thanks, Becky. Anybody have any questions or comments for the upcoming events? As always, a lot of good stuff. Becky, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Last, certainly not least, our illustrious leader is going to give us an update on some of our projects.
Yes, sir. Just a quick update. The Stone Shore Greenway Extension Phase 4, if you remember, we divided that into 2 sections, 4A and 4B. The architect reports to me that all of the required state and federal submissions have been completed. The only thing we're waiting on is an environmental clearance for Section 4A. We think we'll get that back maybe this month, which means as soon as we get that back, we'll have that out to bid. So possibly within a month or so, we'll have 4A out to bid. Phase 4B, we've completed a flood study. We had to resubmit our environmental. We think that that will be a fall bid project. So if you're looking at timing, the first phase is going to be 180-day completion. Next phase will be shorter than that. So hopefully within about a year and a half, we'll have that done. The McFadden Community Center, you saw some pictures of it earlier. It's looking really good. We're going to complete that project at the end of this month. It's going to be something you're going to really be proud of. We'll have an open house and reopen McFadden Community Center to the public with a new program offering. And you just have to go by and look at it. It really has changed the face of McFadden Community Center. McKnight and Starplex, we're substantially complete there. We're meeting in the morning to talk about the punch list to complete that project. Barfield Crescent Park, we're at about 85%. We've got some things that we're trying to work out between the architect and the engineer and the contractor for the completion of that project, but we're going to try to get that basically when off-season gets here, and we'll complete that project. The indoor tennis courts are out for bid right now. The bids open May the 27th, and hopefully when we come back June the 1st, I'll be able to tell you more about those bids, but just to let you know, that is out for bid. Bids do open May the 27th, 3 o'clock here at City Hall, and that will be a 7-month project. We plan to be substantially complete December the 31st of this year, trying to get MTSU in so they can have their tennis season, and hopefully open to the public February of 2015. That's my report.
Okay. Thanks, Lanny. Anybody have any questions of Lanny regarding these or any other projects?
Of course we do. What, back to the tennis facility, what is the projected budget now? I've heard that there's different prices being mentioned, what it's going to cost. Do y'all have a better number?
The projected budget now is around $5.5 million.
Okay.
The facility itself around 5.15, something like that. Then you have the A&E fees on top of that. So
The what?
the A&E fees on top of that.
Architecture and engineering?
Yeah, architectural
For
engineering.
those of us that aren't, okay.
Yes.
We had talked, I think the board had approved moving forward with projects to work with city schools about paving, resurfacing some of the tennis courts at some of the schools. It's been, I think, a year or so or better. Where are we on that project?
We, Mr. Chips, that's a good question. We have taken bids, or I guess you would say quotes, on the renovation of the Case Lane courts. I've already contacted the contractor, and we've set a June 15th deadline to have that one completed. We have the Siegel tennis courts in the budget for next year for renovation. And we looked at the other tennis courts. The only other one that the tennis court construction folks thought could be redone would be Bellwood, and it was questionable. The others needed pretty major repair, taken out, redone. That's another discussion we probably need to have in terms of where we need to position ourselves with tennis courts through the community and where the city schools would need those as part of their instruction.
Okay. Last question. We had brought up before the commission here well over a year ago about lighting at Old Fort. You know, as you look at it, you got 24 outdoor courts.
Right.
You know, a third of those do not have lights.
That will be.
You got a lot of activity coming.
The lighting will go in our next CIP request for consideration.
But we had brought this up well over probably 2 years ago, and I thought we had already approved all of that.
The only thing that was put in, the way they do the CIP, they don't address that every year. And I guess we've got a couple of councilmen here, and they can agree the way we've done that. We had an allocation in 2008, then we had another one in 2010, then we got one in 2012, which was actually at the end of 2012. It's almost 2013. And those were set early. There was not an allocation in 2013 for CIP for parks. 2014 only covered what obligations the council had already committed to as far as projects were concerned. So the next one where they'll consider open projects would be the 2015 CIP for appropriation.
Okay. That's not the way I understood it. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Linda?
Oh.
I believe you had a couple of comments you wanted to make.
I want to thank Angela Jackson. She has worked closely with Kim Frank in our city schools, and she's working with our best class, and I think you've worked out a great program with them, so thank you very much for that. Also, last month we had at Patterson Park, we had NASA FMA Live, where we had all of our sixth graders and some additional classes too. It was a wonderful experience. It's about science, and it's a great program, so I appreciate Patterson working with us on that. And then finally, it was mentioned about the CRC breakfast and lunch program. We'll also be, of course, feeding out of McFadden and Patterson Park, but the CRC, the Greenway access point, we will have a feeding program there, and that's through our federal food program, and so breakfast and lunch will be available to more of our citizens that way. So I appreciate your working with us on that.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Linda. I have one other item. I know we've gone a little long. I apologize, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we had a celebrity in our midst. Not only is he's been a part of us a long time, but Bill Allen, Mr. Allen is going to be featured in one of the feature folks in a PBS documentary regarding his actions during D-Day. So, Bill, I can't wait to watch it, and thank you for your service, my friend.
Amen.
Thank you, Dee.
When is that going to be on, Bill?
May the 28th, 8 o'clock, I believe.
Okay.
I can't wait to see it.
Great.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Dee.
Is there any other business to come before the commission?
Okay.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, we had a wonderful night here at the City Council meeting where we welcomed the Blackman basketball boys and girls, both state champions and national champions in girls basketball, and the cheerleading squad, which was a national championship squad as well. And certainly I want to make sure that people come up to me and they ask me, why do Murfreesboro schools excel so well in high school sports? And I think it's a direct accreditation to and a tribute to the hard work of these guys that are on the Parks and Recreation Commission, because we get them involved very early, and certainly they do an outstanding job of preparing them at all of our facilities, and it's a real tribute to Lanny and the staff that does such a wonderful job with our children. So congratulations again, and certainly we're proud of Blackman and Oakland and Riverdale as well. And Siegel, I guess I'm leaving out there, but for their accomplishments. But a special thank you and congratulations to Blackman for their accomplishments this last year.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eddie. Any other business? Being none, we stand adjourned. Thanks.